back in the kitchen making a few of my very favorite recipes from Little Red Book of Recipes to Love, entertaining at home, made easy. Today I'm joined by my dear friend Ann Martinez, and we're putting together a holiday entertaining menu for you to love. Our menu today consists of a mixed green salad with pomegranate poppy seed dressing and goat cheese croquettes, seared tenderloin over smashed baby reds with Bearnaise and Roquefort, and a gingerbread latte cheesecake you can make ahead.
I've tried to make a cheesecake before and I know it's a lot of work. How can you make it easier?
Well, I think whenever you're throwing a dinner party, one of the best things to do is prep as much in advance as you can. And so this cheesecake you can make ahead of time and chill and then slice and serve for dessert, which makes it nice. One of the things that I like to do is have the mise en place, all of your ingredients measured and ready to go before you assemble something. It just takes all the guesswork out and makes it so much more effortless for you. So this crust is just ginger snaps crushed with melted butter and some sugar. And you just mix it up with a fork and you're gonna press that into a buttered springform pan. I found that you wanna wrap the springform pan in foil just to make sure that it's not gonna leak in the oven, but you can see this crust comes together really easily, and as soon as it's thoroughly combined, we're just gonna press it into the bottom of the crust and bake it for 7 minutes.
Smells good.
Pretty easy way to make a crust for a cheesecake. Flatten it down with a spatula. So now we're gonna make the mixed green salad with the pomegranate poppy seed dressing. And we've got all our dressing ingredients measured and ready to go. So it's as easy as just dumping them in a jar. That's the pomegranate juice, the olive oil, the sugar. Thanks, Ann. The mayo. This is fresh lemon juice. Salt, and the poppy seeds. I like to make dressings in a jar because it's just so easy to shake it together, and you can make it ahead, keep it in the refrigerator, and it's covered and ready to go.
So Sydne, can you toss the salad ahead of time or do you have to do that right before serving?
You know, I would not toss it ahead of time, but you can sure make the dressing ahead of time and shake it, keep it in the fridge. And you can have all the components measured out. But I would wait till the last minute so that it stays fresh and it doesn't get too wilted or soggy. So we've got the dressing ready to go, and we'll go ahead and toss that with the garbanzo beans and the dried cranberries and the sunflower seeds.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and lots of good flavors. Now we're gonna make the goat cheese croquettes. So I like to buy those logs of goat cheese you can find in the deli, and I slice it into about a 3/4 of an inch slice, and then I like to make them into little hearts, and so I just roll them in a ball and flatten them a little, and then with your fingers you can just kind of make an indentation, do a little sculpting,
Cute.
and make a heart. And then you can make those ahead. I did several of those ahead and just kept them in the refrigerator, and so when you're ready to fry them, they're good to go.
Ready to go.
So once you've formed your goat cheese croquettes, you're gonna bread them in flour and beaten egg. And this is panko with salt and pepper. So you wanna make sure you press that onto the croquettes so that it adheres and doesn't fall off in the pan. And then you're gonna heat your peanut oil until it's hot.
Why do you use peanut oil, Sid?
It's just a better oil and it doesn't have a taste that's going to conflict with the goat cheese. So when the peanut oil is hot, you're gonna fry those croquettes until they're golden brown, flipping them and then draining them onto paper towels.
I love your heart-shaped salad bowls.
Oh, thank you. Kind of my theme. Got a lot of heart-shaped dishes, but they're nice for salad. So we'll put the tossed salad in the salad dish, and then sorry, I interrupted you. Looks nice. And then we'll garnish them with the goat cheese croquettes, which really dress up the salad for the holidays, I think. Thank you, Anne. Good.
Very pretty.
Thanks. Now that the crust has cooled, we're ready to make the filling for the gingerbread latte cheesecake. And like I said before, one of the best things to do, I think, when you're entertaining is to, when you're approaching a recipe, to set out your mise en place, which is a French term for everything in its place. And so what that means is you're gonna go ahead and go through your recipe and measure each of the ingredients out. And I like to put them in little bowls and have them ready to go. So when you're assembling the recipe, it's just effortless. So it's your cream cheese, and we're gonna whip that until it's lightly fluffy. 3 packages of cream cheese. Bit, and then we'll add the sugar. Beat that in. Perfect. We're going to add the eggs one at a time and incorporate those. Working with the ingredients for a cheesecake, it's always better to have everything at room temperature. And at 375 for a few minutes, and then you're going to decrease the temperature, and so that will allow the cheesecake to rise a little and then continue to bake at a lower temperature to bake all the way through and prevent any cracking. So your cheesecake is ready to go in your preheated oven.
So you take it out of the oven, you let it cool, refrigerate.
Yep, so this was made yesterday and refrigerated, and so it's chilled. It's gonna be a lot easier to slice cleanly. And I made the whipped cream ahead of time and just transferred it to a pastry bag to pipe. So then just before serving, I would just pipe the whipped cream on the cheesecake.
Pretty.
Yeah, it kind of dresses it up. And then I like to drizzle a little molasses over the whipped cream. It just reflects the flavor of the cheesecake. So I would go back with, I just put straight molasses in a baggie. You could put it in a pastry bag if you wanted. And then clip the end of it off. And then you can just drizzle a little molasses over the top.
Beautiful.
Gives you a little contrast, and it's a gingerbread latte cheesecake, so the molasses is a part of the flavor profile, and I just think it looks a little nicer with some molasses on the top. And so once you've done that, it's ready to slice and serve, so you could even do that, you know, a few minutes before you're ready to serve to dessert. But if you do it a day ahead, it's ready to go.
So pretty.
There we go. So now I'm making the blender Bearnaise. I did the shallot tarragon reduction ahead of time, which you could do and keep in the refrigerator, saving you a little time. I'm going to put that in the blender and puree it with a little salt and the egg yolks.
Save the butter.
Yep, and the butter has been melted, and you want to do that at the last minute so it's still warm when you pour it over the entree. So I wouldn't do that much ahead, but you could sure do this part a little bit ahead. Chop that up, so it's getting a little thicker, which is nice. And then we'll add the melted butter. And blend that. And then your blender Bearnaise is ready to go.
Right. Smells great.
Now we're ready to sear the steaks for the entree.
And I see you did the mushrooms ahead of time.
I did. You can saute the mushrooms with the garlic and the shallots ahead and have those ready to warm up at the last minute, which makes the entertaining part that much more effortless.
And tell me about your tenderloins.
Those are grass-fed 6-ounce tenderloins that I've patted dry, seasoned with salt and pepper, and let come to room temperature before we sear them. So we're going to heat the olive oil and the butter in the pan on medium heat until the butter melts and it heats up.
And you're using a nonstick pan?
I am. Yep, it's a nice big non-stick saute pan that I use a lot, and it works well for searing steaks because you have the surface area and you don't want to crowd those. So the butter and olive oil are warm. You can see that. They're kind of sizzling in the pan over medium heat. So then we're going to put the seasoned tenderloins in to sear, and we're going to sear them for 4 minutes on a side.
Are you on high or medium?
We're on medium. So I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes, and then we'll flip them and cook them for another 4 minutes, and they'll be good to go. with the potatoes, the mushroom, the Bearnaise, and the Roquefort. So after 4 minutes on a side, they're going to be medium rare, but you want to let them rest before you slice them to redistribute the juices. You wouldn't want to slice them right away or all of the juices would run out on the cutting board, so let them rest and then heat up your potatoes and assemble the rest of the entree, and then you can slice the tenderloin.
So Sid, when you're in the kitchen getting ready or cooking and your guests wander into the kitchen and want to help, what can you have them do?
Oh, it's so nice when people offer to help, and I think, things like tossing the salad or helping plate or garnishing the plates is always such a big help to the host or hostess. So I think when people offer to do something, those are great suggestions to me.
So Sid, it looks like you were able to make the potatoes ahead of time. How did you do that?
So those are just smashed baby reds. So you look for the smaller baby red potatoes and you cook those until the skin's split, about 10 minutes in simmering salted water. And then you just smash those with some butter and cream. And those can be made ahead and kept in the refrigerator, which is nice. Then you can just reheat them at the last minute for assembly.
Perfect.
And I guess the good thing, is this is going to be different degrees of doneness. So if you have someone that likes something more done, you can serve, those pieces to the person that likes their steak a little more done. And then you're going to have pieces that are more rare to medium in the middle, so you can kind of adjust according to how guests would like their steak served. And you're going to slice it thinly. And that's going to be a part of assembling the entree in the martini glasses. I think it's nice to have a presentation that elevates the entree. So if you have something like martini glasses or a different presentation, it makes a big difference, I think, in a holiday meal. Thank you. So you can see this is more medium, so people who want medium or rare can have those slices. And this steak, because it was quite a bit thinner, is going to be more well done. So you have some flexibility once you slice it. You can see the degree of doneness, even though it was cooked 4 minutes on the side. You have different degrees, so that can be something that you can work with according to guests' preferences.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Sydney, thanks so much for having me. I've been so lucky to have been a guest at Sydney's house here in Great Falls and in Swan Lake many times. And she always makes beautiful, elegant dinners and makes it look easy. So I'm glad to be able to be here and learn from you today.
I'm so happy you're here today and to help us toast the holidays.